by not trying, you'll never learn.
And I tell my kids that all the time, right? Because like I've got 2 boys myself, and they're at that age where fear is starting to come in, like, well, what if, right? And the one thing I always remind them is, well, I can guarantee you if you don't try,
What if it's not?
you'll never get there.
Absolutely.
So, and what if you did try and you did?
But that's what builds the confidence. I have 2 kids too, and they are very, very confident people in what they do because this is what they learn by seeing and getting continuously pushed.
Yes.
You have to. You absolutely have to. Because if it's not, I always said, if you want to be somewhere you never been, you have to do something you never done.
Welcome to In the Spotlight. I'm Meagan Fettes. And before we jump in with our guest today, I want to do a quick shout out to Main Street Market. They're our sponsor for this show. And if you haven't had the chance to check them out, there's 3 different locations: Okotoks, Mahogany, and Strathmore. And as you've seen by the show, there are some incredible businesses and amazing products that are in these locations. So definitely check them out. You will not be disappointed. And you will absolutely find incredible gifts that you can share with your family, your friends, and everybody in your life. So today we have Raya with us with Tesoro Naturals. So welcome.
Thank you.
I'm really excited to have you here. And like in our pre-conversation, you are just a really, really cool woman. So I'm excited to learn more.
Sure. That's what I'm here for.
Right? And we're going to have a lot of fun, as always. And so I just really want to start off with some of those fun questions, break the ice a little bit, and then we'll get into a little bit of a speed round. And like I say, let yourself have fun with this.
Okay.
Because it's all about learning about who you are, what your passion is, and having these conversations pre-show. You are a very passionate woman. So
thank you.
Yeah. So the first question, do you trust your intuition immediately or question it at first?
Probably questioning first.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
That surprises me a little bit. But I think that's a natural thing as a human being.
I think not on everything. I have, when there is 2 different sides. Sometimes if it's financial, I will question. But if there is the emotional, I more jump right into it. Even so, I always teach my children, don't make emotional decision. A lot of emotional decision when it comes to do with passion, I'm jumping right into it. Financial, I'm more kind of
a little bit more strategic, or
I'm questioning, like, should or shouldn't.
Which I think is a really natural thing, right? I think as humans, we have that tendency of like pausing because there's a little bit of like safety and security that comes with that side. And whereas the emotional side, I can see that with the passion, right? Jumping in with both feet and being like, let's try this.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So now I got a question about like energy vampires.
Okay.
Avoid politely or cut off fast.
Cut off fast.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm very straightforward. It doesn't, it's black and white. There is no gray.
Yes.
What about you?
Oh, yes, I love it. So this is where I struggle a little bit because I have that, like, I always joke that I'm a recovering people pleaser. And so I'm not really great yet at cutting it off right away. And then I pay for it later. So I'm learning. I'm trying to learn a little bit. So I need to learn from you how to be able to do that.
Yeah, I do politely, but if I cut off, like, I don't spend time on trying to justify. If I want to cut something or somebody, it's done, it's over, and have a great life, but without me being a part of it. I don't rule and I don't fester in it. And
I love that.
It's you have to, because then you become somebody else's emotion becoming your baggage. No.
See, and I love this because I feel like this is a skill set that so many people struggle with
Yeah.
because it's that it's like that polarity of humanity, right? Where some people are like, oh, well, you have to do everything for everybody else, which I do believe in giving, right? There's that
Yeah.
give and take.
But that's different.
Yes.
It's absolutely different because one thing when you give and another when you let people take advantage and you give. You
Ooh.
have to see if I have a true friend and I want to give, I will give with all my heart. But if I see that friend is start taking advantage, then no, I don't have no time for that.
Yes. And I love that you have that boundary, right? Because I think that's so vital because it's that if we give, 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 I always used to joke about pouring from an empty cup, right? That old saying, like, you can't give if you don't have like a full cup. And so it's that analogy, I guess I would say it is, where you like a jug. So say it's filled with water. You pour into the cups and you keep pouring, and then eventually the jug runs dry. You can keep pouring, but nothing's really coming out.
And then if you keep pouring, the person expect that you're always going to do this, or you're always going to give, or you're always going to be there. Well, I always said that you especially a woman, a mother, a wife, you have to look at yourself as a foundation. If the foundation crack, it doesn't matter how much time you're going to repair, but if you have your solid foundation and you love yourself, you appreciate yourself, everybody else will do around you the same thing because they know that you will never let anybody to take advantage. And as a mother, you have to teach this to your children. And as a wife, you have to show to your husband that I'm here for you. You need to respect my boundaries and be here for me. I need my space. I need my time. I need my zen. So that's how I always was. And I think that's why it's important to always realize how much you're going to give and for people to understand this, respect my boundaries.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
Yeah, but that's how it is. You can have a mansion, but if it's cracks, foundation is cracked. You will never be able to sell the mansion for the value it is because it's have a crack in foundation.
Absolutely.
Women have to be totally, it's a foundation of the family. It's a foundation for everything. And a lot of women don't see themselves as a foundation. They see as a giver, but not as a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in my industry, I see so many women struggling with loving themselves, respecting themselves, volume themselves. They live for somebody else. You can still live for somebody else. But if you don't exist, there is not going to be somebody else.
Absolutely. So now I got to ask this because it's like, I love like the energy that you bring forward. And I totally agree with you. And I think that this is something that women do struggle with, right? Like it's that constant, like, oh, well, give, sacrifice, like the mother should always be giving and giving kind of idea that we've been conditioned with. And so was this something that you learned at a younger age, or is this something that you learned throughout your life?
I learned this throughout my life. It's not something. My mother was always very giving. It's it's totally different generation. But I learned, I think, because through all my career, I always work with mostly women, and I see how much women struggle. It doesn't matter how financially they was comfortable, there was always struggle, especially when they would come and have treatments like Reiki, or when they have the facials and after they tell you in their own words how they feel, they almost come in like for emotional support, even so they don't talk until they talk. And
Yes.
so through my experience with women, I found that I have to be strong and different in order to help if they ask, but I have to be true to myself. I can't just tell them, oh, you need to take care of yourself, and then don't do this to myself.
Yes.
All my experiences coming from my own experience. As like I said to you before, all my products coming not just because I decided to do the body lotions or the scrubs. They came because somebody needed, and I had knowledge to give them what they need with the better quality. It's nothing makes me more happy than when to see on a client's face or on consumer face or somebody I get in contact that they love my products and they will say, I love your facials, I love your products, I love your treatment. This is what gives me ultimate pay in my life. It's the rewards of making somebody feel good about my touch or my products.
Well, and I love that. Like, one of the biggest things that I'm really hearing in all of that, and I talk to my clients about this often, is in order to be successful in your business, you have to be your own first client, right? Like, if you're not in love with what it is that you do or what it is that you make, then how is anybody else going to be?
Absolutely.
And what you just said there too, like that self-love, that self-care piece, that trusting yourself, like all of those pieces, you have to do that first in order to hold that space for other people. And I think that's just such a beautiful thing to be able to see, because I think that shifts it, right? So rather than those boundaries being, it's about us, it's really the more we do this, the more we can do all of this other stuff, right? And that's the power. It's beautiful. I'm just in awe of you. Oh my gosh, you're going to be like my new favorite person. So I got another couple questions, and then we're going to get into the story behind Tesoro. What's one thing people always get wrong about you?
A lot of people will say when they first meet me that I'm very intimidated. Like they kind of almost scared approach me until they get to know me. I am very comfortable with people I know, but I don't go and engage of knowing somebody. It's different like when you do markets, when you do demos, but
Totally.
to go, I don't like big crowds. I don't like companies like I don't like, and that's why a lot of times people say that when I walk in a room, people get intimidated. They looking like, ooh, like, should we approach her? But once they get to know me, they totally feel like we can't even believe that we had this first impression. And I never saw myself this way. I know, like, I never thought that people will feel this, but a lot of different people in different situations later on will tell me that we feel very intimidated by you. So that's what I get the feedback from people.
Interesting. Well, and if I may, like, I feel like because you have such a beautiful, strong energy to you, and you are so intentional with it. And like I say, most people aren't, right? Like we're not that aware, and we haven't built that strength within our energy.
The confidence.
Yes.
Yeah, when I walk, I do walk with confidence.
Yes.
I kind of like that's what I am. You like it, you take it, you don't.
Right. And so I love that. And so that intimidation might be because it's always something that we all want.
Yeah.
Right. And so when we see it, we're like, wow. And then we get a little bit like, oh, wow.
I think
right?
so, because like even my own kids were telling, yeah, mom, you look intimidated. You don't realize this, but people feel until they get to know you. And then it's a completely 360. It's completely like, wow,
Yes, because you do. You have a very like open, beautiful, loving energy to you. But I think it's that confidence that everybody really desires and you've got it, right? Which is a lovely thing. So don't ever change that.
No. I'm not planning to.
Good.
I don't live for somebody else's opinion.
Yes.
It's me.
Oh,
It's all about me, like I said.
As it should be, right? Because like you say, like there's no one else in the world if you're not there.
Absolutely. And we all have one life to live here on these grounds.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I am really loving this conversation. Like I say,
thank you.
It's lovely to hear because I think, again, so often, and I can speak from my own personal experience, we think that we just have to like keep pushing ourselves and keep doing all of these things. And what I've noticed in my own experience is when I do that, I kind of like fragment myself. And so instead of being able to then put all of what I want to put into, the things that I want to put into, I can't because there's not that energy. And so you have become this person that knows that and is so solid in that. And I think that is such a gift, not only for yourself, but to every single person that you interact with.
I think it's also helped because I was never afraid of try new things. A lot of my friends will say, like at your age, you leaving everything behind and you moving. But that's what gets me going, is to try different things. I was always, even my hairdresser yesterday said, have you ever thought of trying different color, trying different cut? Go for it. Like, it's only hair.
Right.
Like you have to be, that's what gets you fuel. It's not to be afraid.
Yes.
If you fail, well, that's how you learn not to do this next time. But by not trying, you'll never learn.
And I tell my kids that all the time, right? Because like I've got 2 boys myself and they're at that age where fear is starting to come in, like, well, what if, right? And the one thing I always remind them is, well, I can guarantee you if you don't try,
what if it's not?
You'll never get there.
Absolutely.
So, and what if you did try and you did?
But that's what builds the confidence. I have 2 kids too, and they are very, very confident people in what they do because this is what they learn by seeing and getting continuously pushed.
Yeah.
You have to. You absolutely have to. Because if it's not, I always said, if you want to be somewhere you never been, you have to do something you never done.
Ooh. It's very true.
Yeah, because how would you know?
Well, exactly. Oh my gosh. That is a great, like, quotable moment right there. I love that.
That's how our kids have to be. They have to go forward. If it's not, somebody will step on them.
Yes. And I think for all of us, right? Like we get into that space. And I think as parents, there's that like sense of responsibility that comes up. And so then that fear comes in of like, well, what if I do this? And then that sense of security goes away. But then what if we don't do that? And then we become resentful and frustrated and all of those other things that aren't serving us or aren't moving us forward in the way that we're meant to.
Also, Meagan, you want your kids, when they grow up, to say, you know what? I never was afraid because I saw my parents doing this.
Yes.
My parents took steps forward. They never sat and watched somebody else taking steps. You want them to always take the step forward, to know that they can always rely on you as an anchor in their life, that you're not afraid and you there, either they fail or they succeed.
Yes. My oldest, actually, we had a really great conversation this summer. And one of the things he said to me is, he's like, Mom, I know that I can do hard things because I watch you do them all the time.
Absolutely.
I'm like, wow.
And you don't even notice, but they, as a little minds, learn and grow with this.
Yes, they absolutely do.
Yeah.
And I think, again, that kind of goes back into like the boundaries and knowing what to hold your energy to, right? They are picking up more on what we're doing versus what we're saying.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's such a beautiful gift that you bring to this world because you are so solid in that. It's cool. Okay, 2 more questions. And then we're going to get into like, because your products are also amazing. So I want to make sure that we've got enough time to talk about them too.
Okay.
And I'm going to say this again. I say this with every guest, but I think we're going to have to do a part 2 because you and I are like, I just want to go and learn everything about you.
See?
Right? All right. Do you secretly love being right, or do you really love being right?
Mm, I would say secretly. I don't have to be always right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something what I like another people's opinion. So inside me, in order for me to be right, I have to have this intuition saying, I'm right, but let's just see what you think.
Yes.
I'm okay to step back and for somebody prove me wrong. But
Fair.
yeah, so it's not something that I always have to be right. To me, it's more like if I'm wrong, then let's see what I could learn to make it right.
I jive with you with that because I'm the same way, right? Like I often will say, I love getting into conversations where we have a difference of opinions.
That's
And
what makes us different, right?
totally. And it's not like when I share my opinion, I always say to people, like, it's not because I'm saying that yours is wrong. Tell me your side. And I'm always going to reflect on it because then that's how we grow. We get out of our
Absolutely.
own way in different ways.
But whoever said when we was born that we're always going to be right?
Yeah. I mean, that would be kind of boring, really.
Yeah, because then you argue with yourself.
Totally. I feel like I do that a lot, anyways. But at least like this way, we get to have like a little bit of growth. We get to look at things a little bit differently. And that's to me like the beauty of like other humans, right? Like we were designed to be in connection with one another for growth, for building, for becoming what we were all meant to become.
Well, absolutely. And I mean, again, going back to kids, you want your kids to be open that they will say, well, I don't want to say this to my mom because she's always saying that she is right. You want to have this conversation, right?
Yeah.
So
It's true. It's true. Man, parenting, I feel like that's like the best personal development anybody can do because we have to let go of so many things, right? Like I joke with my husband that we have to let go of how we were raised because even though what we think might have worked, did it really?
oh, it's totally different. Wait until you
Yeah.
become grandparent.
Oh.
Get even worse.
Well, because then you got to watch how they're being raised too.
There is like 55, 60 years of difference in generation and upbringing and thinking and dealing with school and like you have to change so fast mentally when you talk to your grandchildren compared to what you was talking to your children. So that'll be a different
Oh,
chapter.
man. I can't only imagine because I feel like even with my kids, like one of the things I always have to remind myself is like, they're learning as well. And I'm learning. I don't have all the answers. And what worked for me as a kid isn't working for them. And it doesn't work for each of the kids that I've got. Right. So it's like constantly learning. And I feel like once I've got the thing, then they change. And so then I've got to change, which is great because I think otherwise it would be so easy to just like kind of descend into that sameness
Well,
and not grow.
the access what they have right now to electronics, social media, and everything, we never had in our life.
No.
I never had. It's a little bit different with you, so you have to continuously. But it's good because it keeps me sharp too, right?
Well, totally. And I like my generation we call it the bridge generation. So we got to grow up without technology. And then as we got older, then it started to really come in. And so we get the best of both worlds, I guess. But then it's that, how do we actually connect those two with our kids?
Well, I guess in this case, my generation will be under the bridge generation.
Well, you guys are in like the generation of like real living, I would say. Like, and that's where
Real learning. You have to learn on your own. Well, now you just push the question to ChatGPT and gives you all the answers.
Yeah. And so like I always joke as a parent, like that's my role now is how do we bridge that? Like helping bring in that true wisdom, in my opinion, and still honor the growth of technology in the world. And so it's an interesting space. My one kiddo is very much about that side. Like he loves being outside and he loves being in nature and doing all of the things. And my younger one is a little bit different. Now that will change over time, but it's like constantly shifting and growing and changing how we do things.
Your kids will never be the same.
No.
It's never.
No, God, no.
And that's what makes fun, because they different and they teaching you by being different too, right?
Yes.
My kids is different. My grandkids is different. It's just the way the world is.
Right? And then we get to learn throughout, which is a very cool process. Oh man. Okay, so let's get into some rapid fire, because like I say, we're getting into some really cool conversations.
Okay.
And I want to get into, because there's some really great products that you guys need to know about. So all right, so this is rapid fire. So we'll do about 3 or 4 of these rapid fire.
Okay.
The most ignored sign the body is screaming for help.
Heart.
Interesting. Okay. The quickest way people sabotage their own healing.
Denial.
Ooh. I could see that one. The habit you swear by that surprises people.
Yeah, I don't know if I have. What is your habit?
Oh, so interestingly enough, I listen to binaural beats every single day.
Okay.
It's a non-negotiable for me. And that was just something that I learned when I was going through and healing from a house fire that we had, and I was really badly burnt. And moving back into the house, I had some really bad PTSD. And so binaural beats helped shift the brainwaves in my brain so that I could manage and deal with and move through all of that. So now it's an everyday thing, no matter what. So, yeah.
I don't have a habit which actually I do. Nobody talks to me until I have my morning coffee. My grandkids come and they sit like 2 mice and they wait and nobody gets in conversation. I wake up before everybody else and I have to have my coffee, and this is my conversation with God for 5 minutes.
Oh.
So, yeah. This is one thing, but nobody's trying because they know.
You're a woman after my own heart, then. I totally feel you. All right. One thing people should stop apologizing for.
By speaking up about their feelings. Because if that's what they feel, they shouldn't feel bad what I think about it.
Totally.
Like, we're all different, right?
Yeah.
So don't apologize just because you don't like it, thinking that it's going to hurt me.
I like that.
It's you. It's what you feel. I wouldn't apologize about my feeling, because at this moment I feel that it's a right feeling, or right decision, or right movements. So just go for it and don't feel apologetic what other people think about you.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I love that. I think that is a brilliant one that people should stop apologizing for. And I'm taking that one in for my own self, because I think that's incredible.
Thank you.
I am loving our conversation, and I want to know, like, what inspired the start of Tesoro?
So Tesoro, when I left Russia and I went through this whole immigration process, I worked in spas in Europe. When I came here, I found that it was not as advanced as it was in Europe. When I opened my spa, I found that a lot of clients would come and they would have problem with allergies. They will have problem with like eczemas, psoriasis, and there was more people was looking for something natural. Owning the spa, I found that what I was using wasn't giving me results what my clients wanted. So I started, because I had a background as aromatherapist,
Oh, nice.
I just started with lotions and body scrubs, what I was able to use in the treatment in my spa. Um, and then it's expanded. Somebody will come and say, okay, do you have something to help me to sleep? Or do you have something for muscle pain? Or do you have something for arthritis? And so I start thinking, what can I do more? And that's how line expanded. So
That's cool.
in Ontario, it was my always secondary business because my spa business was always number one.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what I used in the spa. Couple of the natural past clinics was using my magnesium and food care, but it was never in the stores. I never was thinking. So when I moved here, I wasn't thinking about doing this whatsoever because I was just planning maybe to do 2-3 days a week spa, like not spa, just aesthetics. I wasn't thinking of opening. But my daughter-in-law was working and she absolutely hated it, her job. And so I
Mm.
said to her, if you want, let's just go back and expand Tesoro, and this will be your business eventually.
Oh, wow.
So she started working with me, and I did not even knew about that kind of a concept of Main Street Market. I just went to Chamber of Commerce to find out how can I get more networking to do my aesthetic business. And
Mm-hmm.
so I told them about the line, and the lady said to me, yeah, there is a concept like you can put your products in a store and then they will sell your products. So I went, Mahogany was my very first store,
Oh,
and
nice.
it was a year ago.
Oh, wow.
And so I brought my products. I had no idea how to present or anything. And they tried and they said, we love it. And then Strathmore, my second. And then the Orthodox, my third. And then it's kind of expanded. Now I'm in 9 stores.
Oh,
And
wow.
but Main Street is my kind of favorite stores where I am because everybody using my products and they really enjoying, and it's you dealing all the time with the same stuff. And I have chance to do demos where I get one-on-one with the client. So this is
Nice.
kind of more me, but that's how the line expanded. And
Well, and I love this because you're right. I think more and more people are looking for the natural, right? Like we're in an era where people are starting to question the things that are in the
well,
products.
they're more educated about the natural. Only thing
Yes.
that even when you go in a store, there is a natural and there is natural wannabe.
That's a good way to like differentiate them.
Exactly. And so the quality of the products makes difference, like
Hmm.
the ingredients itself. You can get lavender oil or you can get really good lavender oil. There is like
Yes.
100 different oils, so you have to know. But it's also when you go to purchase in health food store, you pay so much more because there is, so many layers of people who have to make money. While when we make and when we sell in environment like places like markets like this, we can directly give to consumer at better price, but also better quality, and then we could hear feedback to see what they want to see difference. To give you an example, I did
Hmm.
a market in September, and one of the helpers, she used magnesium cream. So her husband came to me at the end of the market and he said, would it be okay for me to use for my arthritis magnesium cream? And I said to him, no, because magnesium cream only works on muscular pain. It will not do anything for arthritis because it's inflammation in the joints.
Yes.
However, if you give me a little bit of time, I'll try to make for you cream. I'll give it to you. You will be fast to try, but you have to keep a journal for me to see how it works, how often you have to put, even if it works or not, because it's totally new for me too.
Yeah.
So in about a week, I ship to him the products, and I give him full jar, and I haven't heard nothing from him. I was doing market in December. I got a text from his wife saying that this stuff is amazing. It works within a second. It's like, "Oh, really?"
Wow.
So she asked for 2 jars, and she said, we've been telling to everybody. So I don't have this on the shelves. Yes, it's called Atro Ease, but that's how I love people to come and ask me to create for them their unique cream, their unique scent. That's what makes this line grow, because just like with magnesium,
Yeah. Well, and I love that because like word of mouth really is the best form of marketing.
absolutely, especially with me, in my line, I find that you need to try to see the difference, because there is so many lotions, there is so many scrubs, there is so many body butters. And unless you try my products, you really don't know the difference. When you try, I love when I do markets and somebody put the lotion and all of a sudden they look at you and it's like, oh, it's so light.
Yeah.
But the scent stays and it smells so good, but you don't get the greasy feeling. And they're almost telling you how they feel. That's what I want. I did one market, one a client, but comfort me on Friday night market. On Saturday at 10 o'clock, she came running, literally running.
Really?
She said to me, can I have another 2? Nothing ever worked as fast as this overnight. That's what I want to hear from my clients. How fast, how slow, what they feel, so I could tweak accordingly. Because
Yes.
that's what makes your line is yours.
Right? It's that iteration and that
Absolutely.
through that market research.
Yeah,
And you're getting that live version. And I love, like you talked about, like people don't know unless they try.
absolutely.
And that's one of the things that I talk about within my own business, because I'm a speaking coach. And so I often will tell people like they need to hear, they need to feel, they need to experience your expertise.
Yeah.
You can't try and
can't
stand
help.
out in all of the noise out there right now.
No.
The only way you can is through that people-to-people interaction.
Yeah.
That's the best way.
Absolutely. It's the same with the scrub. When I made a scrub, for a while, my scrub had like oil and then salt or sugar. Personally, I prefer to have salt because then you get some minerals when you apply, because once your body, under the heat, your pores get larger, then you can absorb more of the minerals from the salt. Sugar, again, for the same reason, when you expand and your pores expand, sugar can get, and sometimes people don't realize it can actually upset your numbers because it's sugar for somebody who have diabetes.
Yes.
But everybody else using sugar. In my spa, I always used salt, but people used to having a sugar scrub. So you have to adjust and do sugar scrub for,
Yeah.
because if you have a cut, if you put salt,
It
you're going to
hurts.
feel.
Yeah.
So you have to think as a consumer, not as the practitioner. What consumer will buy, not what you think it's best for you.
Yes, I love that because one of the biggest things I like you're speaking my language here because market research, right? Like really learn and understand what your audience, your market, your consumer wants and then really focus on those things because they're telling us. We don't need to try and think our way through it.
Well, we have our business for the consumers, not for us.
Yes, exactly.
If we don't have consumers, we have no business.
No, exactly. Well, and so I'm going to get into your products just a little bit. I want to kind of speak to your body scrub because we tried it out at your display.
Right,
And what I loved about it is, like you said, you can do it both wet and dry.
right.
And so I thought that was really, really cool. And what was neat is there wasn't that like oily feeling after.
But yet you still have the oil and the softness of the skin.
Yes.
Because when you have an oil separate from the products, again, you're doing this in a shower, you have water, you can sleep, and a lot of time even it's for kids as well.
Yeah.
I switched because when I used to do pedicures in my spa, it would be all over the floor and it clogged the jets.
Oh,
So
fair.
I had to start thinking, what can I do to use the scrub but without the danger? Then I did the same thing. What can I do that people, if they have wet hair and water is running all over, if they want to do the scrubs, they don't have to worry about sleeping on the floor. So my scrub is 100% vegetable based. So you still have the vegetable oil, and once you start exfoliating, the oil gets right in the skin instead of right on the floor.
That's amazing. And I love that. And then you've got Magnesium Magic, which I joke that I need a tub of this because my boys get really bad growing pains because they're at that age. And I know I get like the pins and needle kind of feel that
Yeah.
goes down my legs, which is usually an indicator of low magnesium, and just sleep in general. And so you had mentioned that this is so much different than the sprays.
Yes.
And so let's talk about this one really quick, and then we're going to slowly begin to bring everything to a close. But I want to hear about this.
So about maybe 10 years ago, I start using magnesium spray.
Mhm.
And I have a very sensitive skin. And so I start using on my legs, and magnesium spray actually have to be applied behind your knees. But I found
Really?
that it was so irritating. Like I would just stay and literally like scratch my skin, like my skin.
Yeah.
So I started thinking, what can I do in order to make it magnesium, more magnesium, but without this irritation? I almost found that because it was like magnesium, like a oil based, it was spraying all over. So you don't know how much you got in the skin.
Mm.
So I started by, first of all, I found magnesium, which is the most purest form magnesium you can find. There is so many magnesium, but my magnesium comes from Netherlands, and it comes from 500 years old mine, which is the purest magnesium you can get. There is no pollution in
Oh,
it.
wow.
I start by adding 30% of pure magnesium. So I will make my best base. I add the magnesium, and I started because on my right leg, I used to have all the time cramps, leg cramps, especially in the morning when I stretch.
Oh, yeah.
And so I started using my magnesium night before just on my legs, and I will put on my feet for sleeping. And it's been years since I had cramps, like none
Wow.
whatsoever. So I start with 30%. Then I thought, okay, what if I increase? So now it's at 40%. 50% separates the products. So, but 40%, you get this little bit of tingling at the beginning, but that's it. But the results, like people who have leg cramps, they gone.
That's
People
incredible.
who have a problem with sleeping, it's gone.
Wow.
Kids who have a growing pains, if they put on, the pain is gone. So it's used to call magnesium lotion, just like my all other lotion. And my client will come, or anybody who come will say, this stuff is magic. You should literally call magnesium magic. So we renamed, I think last year, and we put magnesium magic. And anybody who ever tried, it's have no scent because a lot of men use the products, and a lot of boys changing in hockey rooms, they don't want to have no scent. So it's unscented. So anybody who have sensitivity, a lot of people will say, oh, I can't use any scent, I'm sensitive. The difference with essential oils and when they another lotions that you don't get the same reaction. Essential oil in a pure form will not create sensitivity. I don't use no perfumes in my, there is a big difference. That's why a lot of people who have sensitive skin, they have no problem using my lotions because it's all organic essential oils.
Yes.
But magnesium have no scent, but it works amazing.
This is incredible. So I love this. And everybody that's watching this, what I love about your line is that it's not just like the self-care stuff that so many people think about when it comes to lotion and scrubs. It's really a healing line, in my opinion. And you've got so many different opportunities or options for different ailments and different things that are going on for people. And so if you're curious at all, I highly recommend you guys come check it out. Like she said, she's in all 3 Main Street Market locations. And this stuff is amazing. I've gotten the chance to try it and I'm excited. I feel like I'm going to be buying, well, for sure, the Magnesium Magic for myself, the Comfort Me for family members. And then you've got a foot lotion as well that I'm going to be buying.
Yeah, Comfort Me works amazing for anybody who have eczema, psoriasis, or sensitive skin. They could use on the face because it doesn't have no fillers. It's very light, so it's all over the body products. Yeah,
this stuff is amazing. So I really appreciate you, Raya, coming on and being here with us.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate you, being interested in my line, and hopefully you'll have chance to try and give me your feedback.
Absolutely. I'm going to definitely be buying some before I leave.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And like I say, everyone, come and check out her line. It is absolutely amazing and definitely something you don't want to miss out on. And before we wrap up, I do want to give a quick shout out to Main Street Market. As you can see, these are incredible businesses that are in this store. If you have not checked them out, this is your calling. Come in, check it out, shop local, and get some of the highest quality products that you can ever find out there. Thanks, everyone. Right.